In a small semi-basement apartment, the Kim family consists of 4 members. The head of the household, whose name is Ki Taek, has his wife Chung Suk, daughter Ki Young and son Ki Woo. They are living in extreme poverty, and they even have to use someone else's Wi-Fi. And they all work folding pizza boxes to support their household. The son Ki Woo used to watch various videos on the internet about how to maximize their speed, and shows these videos to his family. The family then tries to make a pizza box as quickly as possible, but they aren't properly trained. And due to this, the pizza boxes aren't packed properly. When the pizza shop owner comes to pick up the pizza boxes, she tells them that they didn't fold the pizza boxes properly, and she will deduct their money. But Ki Woo tries to solve this, and tells her that he knows their main worker has left the job, and that they search for a new worker, and he can be this worker. The girl accepts the offer, and returns all the money to the family. After a while, they are all sitting at home eating snacks. But a drunkard starts throwing up at their window, and they can do nothing. Ki Woo's friend comes to their house. His name is Min, and has a very heavy box in his hand. He puts the box on the table, and says that his grandfather has sent it for stoning. It seems that his grandfather is fond of collecting precious and rare stones. And Min says that this stone is believed to bring happiness to whoever has this stone. Both Ki Woo and Min then go outside. Min tells him that he tutors English to a girl from a rich family, and he likes her. But now he has to go to another country for education, and purpose that Ki Woo should teach her English. Min says that by doing this, his financial condition will also improve. But Ki Woo says he isn't in college, and has no credentials. Min says that he will recommend Ki Woo to replace him in this house, and should make a fake degree with the help of his sister Ki Young. She is artistic, and makes a fake degree for Ki Woo. The next day, Ki Woo is leaving, and his parents encourage him for the new job. And he tells them, although now he has fake credentials, one day he will go to this college. Ki Woo reaches the house, and presses the bell. The door opens for him, and goes inside. He is surprised to see such a big house and a perfect lawn. This house is very big and beautiful, and the maid of the house comes to pick him up at the door, and says that the house was built by a very famous architect, after which the new family bought the house from him. She asks him to sit inside, and goes to tell the lady Yunkyo about him. There are 4 people in this family: Mr. Park Dong and his wife Yunkyo, a son named Da Song and a daughter Da Hai, and Ki Woo has to teach English to Da Hai. The mother looks at Ki Woo's credentials, and sits in the class herself on the first day. And after the class, the mother is satisfied with his method of teaching, and hires him as an English teacher. Yunkyo is talking with him, and her son comes to the lounge. He is a naughty child who plays at home all day. Yunkyo says that her son Da Song loves painting, but his painting teacher has left because of his naughty behavior. Ki Woo immediately gets an idea. He tells Yunkyo that his cousin's friend is a famous painter, and tells her name is Jessica. She has studied at Illinois State, and he can talk with her to teach the kid, and the mother accepts. When he goes home, he tells his plan to his family. The next day, Ki Woo introduces his sister to Yunkyo by pretending to be Jessica. His sister Ki Young acts like a professional teacher, and she doesn't even let Da Song's mother sit in class on the first day. Ki Woo goes to teach Da Hai, and she tells him that there is nothing special about her brother, he is just pretending to be special, and adds that she thinks Jessica is his girlfriend. Ki Woo laughs and says of course Jessica is beautiful, but she isn't his girlfriend. Both of them come close in talking, and they start loving each other. Meanwhile, Yunkyo is worried about her son Da Song. She asks the maid for her juice, and came up with an idea. Yunkyo tells her maid to take juices for her son, and by this, she can go into the room, and check what was going on. But before she can leave, her son and Ki Young come out and are sitting in the lounge. Ki Young tells the mother that she has looked carefully at her son's paintings, but it looks like something bad happened to him, the marks of which are still imprinted on his mind. The mother begins to cry after hearing this, but doesn't tell Ki Young anything. Mr. Park also comes home from the office, and orders his driver Yoon to drop Ki Young home. Driver Yoon tries to talk, and get close to Ki Young on the way. She asks Yoon to drop her off at the metro, but he tries to convince her that he can drop her at home. Ki Young immediately comes up with a plan, and puts her panties under the car seat. The next day, Park finds the panties in the car. He shows them to her wife, and says that his driver has crossed the limits, and asks his wife to fire the driver. The mother asks Ki Young about the driver, but Ki-young says that she got off at the metro station. Yeon-kyo is satisfied to hear this, and fires the driver. According to her idea, Ki-young tells them that her father's driver is a very good. She adds that her relatives have relocated to Chicago, and she will check if he is free. But in real, Ki-young is making a plan for hiring her father. Ki-taek goes to a car shop and learns the functions of new cars. He meets Mr. Park and introduces himself as Mr. Kim, and Mr. Park hires him after a long drive. They all get to work and are completely unknown to each other at the time of work. Now they plan to get their mother to work in the same house. Upon further investigation, they discover that the housemaid is allergic to peaches. According to the plan, and after the class finished, Ki-woo throws peach powder at the maid as he passes by, which causes her to develop an allergic reaction, and she immediately goes to the hospital. Meanwhile, Ki-taek reaches the hospital and takes a selfie, in such a way that the maid's face is also captured. And when he comes back from shopping, he shows Yeon-kyo the picture, and says that the maid has TB. He tells her there are children in the house, and the maid is roaming around the house with a deadly disease like TB. He then texts Ki-young before going home, and just before Yeon-kyo gets home, she drops the peach powder on her again. As Yeon-kyo enters the room, she sees the maid coughing. Ki-taek drops ketchup on the tissue used by the maid, causing it to bleed. Yeon-kyo immediately fires the maid as well. On Mr. Park's way home in the evening, Ki-taek gives him a company card, and tells him that this company provides maids for the houses. Park gives the card to his wife, and thus, their mother also enters the house as a maid. The conditions of these people are changing now, but smell a particularly foul smell from all of them. And Park also mentions it to his wife. But the Kim family also hears this, and they discuss among themselves that they have to get rid of the smell. They think to use a new soap. But they realize that the smell isn't from their clothes, and actually from the place where they live, and they have to change their house. It's Daesung's birthday, and his family goes on a picnic to celebrate. And the Kim family has a lot of fun in this house. But suddenly, the bell rings. When they look through the monitor, the old maid of this house is standing at the door. She says that her stuff is left inside, and Chung-suk tells them to hide and opens the door herself. The maid immediately goes to the kitchen, and Chung-suk follows her. The maid opens a secret passage behind the cupboard, and she walks into it. Chung-suk also goes there, and the maid is over there, feeding a man, and tells Chung-suk that he is her husband, who has been hiding here for the past 4 years. He had a loss in business due to which he is in debt, and the debtors are trying to find him. Ki-woo requests Chung-suk to keep feeding her husband, and in return, she will give her money. Chung-suk doesn't agree, and threatens to call the police. The Kim family is hiding behind the stairs, but one of them slips and they all fall in front of the maid. As soon as she sees this, the maid immediately makes a video of them, and threatens them that she will send these videos to Yeon-kyo. They all come to the hall. The maid and her husband sit on the couch by themselves, and ask them to sit with their hands up. She makes a video again, and also takes photos of the dining table. As soon as they get the chance, they all attack the maid, and they take the phone away. But the house phone rings. It's Yeon-kyo on the phone, and says that they are returning home because of the high water on the river. And they ask Chung-suk to prepare food. The Kim family tied the maid and her husband. They then dragged them into the basement and cleaned the house. Before the birthday, Yeon-kyo spoke with Chung-suk about her son, and that he was eating cake from the fridge when he saw a ghost and screamed. He got a panic attack, and now he is suffering from this. But in reality, the ghost was the maid's husband, and was hiding in the basement. At present, Mr. Park and his family come home, and after dinner, Daesung tells them to pitch a lawn tent outside, and spend the night. Park and his wife lie down on the couch, and they talk about the musty smell coming from the driver. And the Kim family is hiding under the table, listening to all this. After they fall asleep, the Kim family comes out from the table, and runs away from the house. They all run home in the pouring rain, and as soon as they reach home, another trouble awaits them. Their entire house is filled with water, because a window was left open, and the entire house was submerged in water. They take their essentials, and come to a hall where many other homeless people are also sleeping. Ki-young gets a call, and Yeon-kyo says that it's Daesung's birthday party, and she is invited. And Da-hae also invites Ki-woo. Everyone is at the party, and both Ki-woo and Da-hae are in the room. He asks her if she thinks he is one of them. She nods yes, but Ki-woo thinks he isn't one of them, thinks of the couple tied up in the basement. And if they both come up, their lie can be caught. After thinking about something, he takes out his friend's stone from his bag, and he goes to the basement. Arriving in the basement, Ki-woo discovers that the maid is dead. She was leaving and coming up, but Chung-suk kicked her in the leg, causing her to fall down the stairs, and she died on the spot. Courageously, Ki-woo moves forward. He thinks that the maid's husband would be tied, but he has set himself free. Her husband puts a rope around his neck, and ties it to the pipe, then starts to attack him with the same rock. But Ki-woo's rope loosens, and he escapes from the basement. Suddenly the rope gets stuck, and he falls to the ground. The maid's husband attacks and injures him with the stone. He then comes out, and there is a party going on outside. The man sees Ki-young, and immediately runs toward her. Before she can recover, he stabs her in the chest with a knife. Ki-taek rushes to his daughter, and puts his hand on her wound to stop the bleeding. Chung-suk sees this, and then attacks the man. Park comes near, and tries to take the car keys. He puts his hand on his nose to avoid the foul smell, but Ki-taek doesn't like his behavior. Park takes out the car keys, beneath the maid's husband. On the other hand, Ki-taek's daughter is dying. Unable to control himself, he plunges a knife into Park's chest and disappears there. And Ki-young dies on the spot. After a while, due to the head injury, Ki-woo becomes mentally ill, and laughs at anything he hears. Park sells the house to a German couple. A case goes on against Ki-woo and his mother, but the court doesn't punish them, and leaves them with some instructions. And no one in the news knows where Ki-taek is. He is living in hiding in this basement, and keeps sending the signal to his son, by switching the lights on and off at different times through Morse code. One day his son goes to the house, and sees the signals, and they both communicate with each other, using the same code. Ki-taek is saddened by Park's death, and apologizes in front of his picture in the room. Ki-woo tells him that he will earn money by working hard, and buying the same house. And his father will be able to come out of this basement, without any fear. After some years, Ki-woo buys that house. His father comes out fearlessly, and finally, he meets his family. Thanks for watching, take care, and see you in the next video. Big dog status, I'm a big dog vet. I pull up on the block in a big Corvette.